Right then, morning you plotsters, cropsters and allotmenteers. This is the first real planting for 2023. As you can see, biodiversity just loves it here. All the thistles, dandelions, weeds and nettles down the side of the allotment. Not edible obviously, but very edible for other plants, insects sorry, and good folic acid in the nettles to stop you getting potato blight. But the edible stuff and the stuff that my wife expects to be neat and tidy, this bit I've been fighting to keep for years, but still managed to keep hold of it. As we go here, obviously before this stage quite a lot of work's been done, like that you can see it. The raspberry canes that Peter gave us last year, we cut back January, February time. They're starting to sprout up, they've all been fed. They spread like massively, so we can normally give 6-12 cuttings away every year from the little runners. Moving on to the fruit cage that we do keep covered up. In here we've got, well, in there we've got some justerberries, which I think are a cross between a couple of fruits, of which one's a gooseberry, but they're red. Very nice, not the right place in there, so I'm going to have to take that out. Here we've got our blueberries, little seedling from last year as that plant died. Different plant there, which is a newer one I bought I think for the fruit anniversary. And this is one that we inherited from Anne. Peter doesn't like blueberries. That's the healthiest one of them all. In the back there, can't see it very well from that side, we have our very lovely black currants. Always first to get flowers and buds on. As you can see, they are bursting out already, but again all being well fed. This is the dahlia bed, or was the dahlia bed. Had some dahlias in there last year that we leave in with straw, but I think from experience here the clay 2.5 feet down is quite wet, and they're at the bottom of the hill, so the frost rolls down. So I'm going to lift them from now on. They're too expensive to leave in and lose. First lot of planting this year has to be accredited with our sweet peas. They went in yesterday as seedlings, semi-hardy, so hoping that the 2 4-degree nights this week aren't going to crop them. Those I have to start again. This little bed here has got artichokes from last year. One there, one there, and one there. I think we might have lost 2, but the other ones might come back up. The remnants of our leek bed that need from last year that need digging out. I normally plant about 24-36 leeks, and then we eat them all the winter. They need to come out now so we can feed it, rotivate it, replant it. Here where I'm standing is where our horseradish normally lives. Yep, there it is, just coming through again this year. Nice little leaf, good old root, very hardy, never lose that. Managed to plant one from Waitrose. Now this little contraption is our sweet corn pen and sweet peas. Last year sweet corn were attacked by badgers. This whole bit of fencing from the house, and replace the fence. I'm hoping he's going to be man enough to keep the badgers out. Wildflower bed to our left. I planted yellow rattle in there. I've got to sort out the rest of the stuff around there and see what's what. This side's been planted with yellow rattle, then I'll put some wildflowers in. Box hedging from the house. I don't like throwing things away, as Lisa will verify. So I put it down here as a little border to give it another life. Yes, so this is one of the beds that we brought back to life a couple of weeks ago. Garlic and a couple of rows of white onions. First one popping its little face through, so they're obviously happy there. Right, this little bed is red onions. We got them from Burford Garden Centre and they're good quality, so we put them in. However, it looks like a little deer has managed to get into the allotment, which won't impress everybody. To find out where they're getting in and get rid of them. Potatoes, we sort of like tried this technique last year and it seemed to work well. Putting them in bags. The soil afterwards is fantastic, as you can imagine, but crops not as big as putting them in the ground. Earlies and some lates, I believe. Frame's gone up for the runner beans, which we move to a different bed every year. This is our mixed use bed, so any potatoes that were left we put in the ground under the green, and then we've got 2 rows of parsnips either side of the sticks. We're going to try some calciferous vegetables again, so that's your broccoli, cauliflower and the likes, cabbage. Can't really do well with that down here, but Lisa's suggesting we get some cabbage, moth, butterfly netting and build a little practice bed there. If it works, we'll build a bigger frame. And the rest of the beds, you might think, what's going on there? They are weed free, covered in cow manure, fresh cow manure, and ready for planting. We tend to chuck that on in January and let the worms do the rest of the work. The cow manure we get is full of worms, so the worms breed and everything looks great. But it is all looking a bit of a wild and woolly affair at the moment because of all the dandelions. But as we all know, because we're getting told, they're the first flowering, very generous pollinating and pollen providing flowers for the bees, and those were suggested aren't cut for the entirety of May and June, which by then I'll need my daughter to come down with her scythe and cut the grass for us. So that's half an allotment. God knows how people have the time to keep a whole one going, but it's great. We've got a little box there to put stuff in. This year tomatoes are going on that bed, beef ones, cherry ones. I tend to find they grow better outdoors than in. And then we have a plan every year for the allotment where we do lots of different crop rotation to reduce disease, but it really is a rather beautiful place in this little valley. Some people adopt the gravestone technique, other people just make the land barren, lash it down to just soil to keep the grass at bay. Other people have got other techniques. Personally, it's a fantastic multi-generational learning experience. People share a lifetime of knowledge. Like somebody's even planted a Christmas tree and left it to just grow. Not that you're supposed to plant trees down here, but the birds love it. Last year the badgers seemed to love it. It's normally warmer in the summer, less windy, high wheeled in the background as we look up towards the church. and the little village where we live and grow the majority of our food. We're sustainable for leeks, onions, courgettes, runner beans, carrots, not quite, but it's all organic, that's for sure, because we've not put any chemicals on the ground for 4 or 5 years. Right, I think that's enough. Enjoy. Hopefully you'll have picked up a few tips. Hopefully, maybe that's where the deer's getting in. That needs replacing. That's not doing much, is it? That's supposed to be on the spring, keeping them out, so I guess that's where they're getting in. So yeah, enjoy, and hopefully it'll inspire you to do something in the garden. Raise bed, tubs, or even ask the parish council for an allotment. That's it for now. Enjoy May.